In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to add a reagent to a medium bottle using anaerobic and sterile techniques. So this is a medium bottle that I prepared previously, and it was prepared anaerobically, and the bottle has been already autoclaved. And this is a vitamin solution covered in foil because vitamin is sensitive to light. And I'm going to add this reagent that is also already sterile into this medium bottle. In terms of what you need for this, you're going to be using a gas bench and a plastic sterile syringe, as well as some needles and a 0.2 micron filter to attach to your gas line. I'm going to first show you how to set up the bench. So this is the gassing / flame bench, and this gas line over here that carries nitrogen and CO2 gas mix is connected all the way there to the large gas tanks. And that knob over here, you will use that to open the natural gas. And this is your flame. In one of the lines, you're going to attach the 0.2 micron filter. And before we set things up, I'm going to turn the flame on and clean the benches with 70% ethanol solution. I turn the gas knob on. Okay, there we go. We have the flame. Yeah, I think you can see the blue flame over there. This is the 70% ethanol. Just be careful because you don't want to get the ethanol directly on the flame. I'm just going to wipe down the bench with a paper towel. We have this flame so that it'll create this convective flow of air going upward, so that none of the particles that is in the air or on the bench, for example, will fall on directly on the bottle. That will cause, that'll be the source of contamination. So now I'm going to replace this old filter with a new one. So it's important to keep everything as close as possible to this radius around the flame, just to be in that airflow. And as you open this, don't touch anything with your glove. And I usually just directly put this on the line without using my hand to touch anything. And then once it's attached, I just gently squeeze it, and then you can fix this. Okay? And this 18 gauge, the pink needle, is the thicker needle option, and then you have the 22 gauge, which has a black label, is the thinner option that you're going to be using to transfer reagent into your medium bottle. So the pink needle is going to be attached to the filter and gas line, so that you can insert this thinner needle into the thicker needle in order to flush the syringe with oxygen-free gas. So I usually release the pressure on the gas line first before attaching a needle to avoid the needle from flying off of the filter. You might have heard that hiss already, so that was the pressure that was already in the gas line. And again, you can just break this open, but just be careful not to touch the needle itself. So I'm staying close to the flame still, and you can attach this to the filter. You can just gently push it. Then you can take the cap off. Just be careful not to poke yourself with the needle. And I'm going to very slowly open the gas valve over here. You should be able to hear the gas flow a little bit. And once you get used to it, you'll get the feel of how much pressure you need in the line with the needle that you're using. So now that we have the gas flow in the line, I'm going to explain what I'm going to do first and then demonstrate everything with a close-up view, because it's hard to explain everything as I'm dealing with the needle. So what I'm going to do is open the syringe and needle by the flame and assemble the two. And right now there's air in this syringe, so we want to flush the syringe and the needle with the nitrogen CO2 mix in this case. You do that 3 times. You just flush the needle back and forth, and then you're going to poke the needle without touching the needle itself or the rubber septum of the reagent bottle. So you're going to poke that needle in, and then you're going to invert the bottle so that you can actually sample an aliquot of the vitamin solution. You're inevitably going to get some sort of gas pocket in your syringe, and you're going to see me with the bottle inverted just try to release the gas back into the bottle. And then once you sample the amount of liquid that you want in your syringe, you're going to slowly take the needle out from that bottle and then inject it into your medium bottle. In this case, you don't have to invert it because you're just pushing everything inwards. And before I do everything, I of course am going to sterilize the surface of the rubber septum of the bottles. Usually I do that using a Kim wipe soaked with 70% ethanol, and then while the rubber septa are still wet with 70% ethanol, sometimes you can heat it up with the flame a little, very briefly. that part is done. One thing I forgot to mention is that before you sample the liquid out from the reagent bottle, you want to add the same volume of the nitrogen CO2 gas mix into the bottle and then invert the bottle to sample liquid. And the reason for that is because you don't want to create negative pressure in this bottle over time. That will happen if you just keep sampling liquid out without adding the same amount of gas in. And again, it is important to not touch any of this part or the rubber septa. It will take some practice, as the rubber septa can be a little bit tough to poke through with this needle, but you will get used to it pretty quickly. So I've turned the gas off already, and make sure you close the gas line off. It's best to close the upstream knob first, and then you can close this valve, and make sure to take the needle out, and all of the sharps waste can go into this biological sharps waste container. And that's it. You just make sure that once you're done with the bench for the day, wipe down the bench again with the 70% ethanol.